Good morning, team. I'm over here with SugarBlood. We are out in Austin. Now, interesting little room here. Okay. This is one of the river motivators. Yeah. This is one of the river motivators. That's one too. So the way this works is this pulls from the bottom of the pool. I'll show you real quick. Let me get up the stairwell. All right, so it pulls from these. We have a grate we need to fix. We'll get into the water and fix that one. We're talking about draining the pool. We'll fix everything, including that. Pulls into there. But what happened here is we had a freeze about 4 weeks ago, Blood? Something like that. 3 or 4 weeks. About 3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, the seal must have froze in here, so the seal was bad, but also we had a gasket that was leaking, so this room got a little water in it. But nonetheless, that's what we're doing today. We're replacing the seal on this bad boy. There's not much to work with here, so we're gonna have to manhandle it, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a 25 horsepower. We're not having to move the motor much, just a little bit, but we are gonna have to get the volute off, of course. So yeah, we're gonna get that off. I'll show you what we're looking at inside. Hopefully the volute looks good. Alrighty, team, got the volute body off. Now we're at the impeller. Doesn't look terrible. It's got some trash in it, but nothing too bad. Now you can see right here it's had something hit it. Something got in there and hit it pretty good, actually. That looks more like striking than it does to be cavitation. Maybe a little bit of cavitation, but it's not too bad. I will say the motor kind of sounds weird to me, but let's see, hard to see in there. I'm about to get some light. Fortunately, it's kind of dark in here. Let's see, let's go over here. But yeah, you can see it's a little bit of cavitation damage, not much. Like I said, this more looks like striking than cavitation. Yeah, I'm not a pump expert, I'm not gonna lie. So if anybody sees this, maybe they could tell me what we're saying. I'm about to clean all this up in order to get a good seal, of course. No, that had to be strike, because this one's at the lip. It's actually got a lip, so I bet you that's a strike. Something got into it and hit it. Let's see. Anyway, all right. So while we're in here, we can talk about this. If we get a good side look, you can see this right here is a 14-inch pipe. It goes all the way down to a 6. So this right here, let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it is a 14. It's got to be a 14. It's a big old pipe, man. Let's see. It's a 12-inch. All right, so it's 12-inch. Trying to make things bigger than they really are. My life story, my friends. All right, so you'll see it goes from a 12 all the way down to a 6. See how this pipe, it goes up into this direction? This is what we call an eccentric reducer. Now, this one is a reducer. This one's a concentric reducer. It goes back to a, that's not a 12. Is that a 12? No, that's not a 12. It's a 10-inch. You see it's a 10. So all that does is allow the water to flow in a good direction, so you don't have any actual cavitation within the volute here. So that's how that works. Same thing here. You'll have equal pressure coming out. So pretty cool. These are a little different than the ones we have at the other park. The other ones are made out of fiberglass, and they're very well shaped. These are just PVC, formed PVC, which is okay. They're fine. But I really like the fiberglass ones because I can go from a 12 down to a 6 and only take up that much space. It's pretty cool. We are in the wave chamber. As you can see, it's nice and dark. It goes another 70 feet that way or so. So we're gonna work on pistons today. Let's talk about these. So if you look in there, you see that valve is open. So the one that's in here, right here, is actually closed. if I push this up all the way, it changes the orientation there, it closes it. So this is where the air is forced into the caisson chamber that's behind here and pushes the air down. So they'll go opposite. This one will close, that one will stay open, closed, open, all the way through the 6 chambers here. They'll keep switching. It's all controlled by that box there where SugarBlood's at. It sends 110 volts through this line right here to this pneumatic actuator, okay? Scared me. So that pneumatic actuator here pushes air through here. Normally it's in the normally closed position, so it'll actually be like this, that's down. When it calls to open, this air will push into here and it'll go opposite. So this one connects here like that, and then this one goes to there. So it'll push air through this one, making the piston go up. And then right here, there's an exit port. Now I usually have mufflers, but for some reason we don't have mufflers. I'm gonna buy some for this one. Okay, so what's going on here is 2 things we need to check. Right now we don't have air, the compressor's down, all right, but that's okay. What we can do is we can take this down and put 110 volts to it through a regular line like this and see if we hear it click. If we hear it click, we know that this is probably good. Just the piston might not be in great shape. So if you have one of these, this is by Whitewater. This clevis up here will get real rusted right here. We recommend replacing this with a fiberglass reinforced. You can get it from McMaster's with a stainless steel pin. The other issue here is down here. This guy, if it gets too rusty, it'll seize shut. Okay, and what happens is it won't allow the piston to maneuver in order for the piston to go up. So if we watch this, it ever so slightly moves. So watch this. The piston ever so slightly moves. See it? If it's not allowed to move, it binds up here and won't allow the shaft to go up. Okay, so this has got to stay pretty clean here. All right. If you're having air release out of the top of here, this seal right here needs to be replaced, and that's a simple part. Okay. Most of the time, you don't have to replace the whole piston itself, the whole piston assembly. You just got to replace the ancillary parts, which is either a pneumatic actuator, the seals right here, or the internal seals. We are going to break this apart. We're going to get it off here. We'll talk about it on the healing bench. Let's look at it. Give me a second. Got the piston on the healing bench here. Shout out to my main man, ABE. Oops. All right, we're in a SugarBlood shop, so it's a little different. It's tight, but hey, he makes it work. So we're in SugarBlood stock. Check this out, guys. Look at that. He's got the best view, though. Look at that. All right. All right, so the first thing we got to do here is, in order to get to the main part of the piston, we need to get this bracket off, and that bracket will take that pneumatic actuator off. So let's get that off. So we got this off now. It can't come off. I'm not going to take it off yet. We're going to have to find another one. We might bring them all out down, and then we're going to replace these 100%. Now, if you know what these are, these pneumatic actuators by Parker, okay, so they do make a service kit for these, for the interior piston thing. But to be quite honest with you, it's just much easier to replace the whole thing. Most of the problems that I have for these units specifically is this part. It blows out on us. Now, you can't get that part alone, but it's really not worth it. If you're in the middle of summer and you have one of these and you know it's not working, but it's still sending power it's supposed to, this might just be corroded up. You can replace it. You can replace the little piston in there. We don't have any in the bags, though. We don't have any in here. But you can replace just that, and it probably gets you in service. But, again, have these on stock. If you have a Whitewater system, everything like these, they're a little pricey, but it's worth having them in stock, okay? They're going to save you real quick. Like I said, these require, or it's best to have a muffler on these because they create a little bit of back pressure, so you can adjust better. And then these right here, these will adjust your airflow to your piston, both top and bottom. So whenever we've got the piston going, you don't want it to go pata, pata, pata. You don't really want it to do that. You want it to go whoosh, whoosh, okay? Just so you're not blowing pipes. You know, let's think about like a water hammer, right? Same thing with air. We don't want it to cause that. So let's just open and close everything nice and slowly. So that's what these are for. These old brass ones I had in my pool, at the wave pool, but I'm going to probably get SugarBlood here, the new ones, and they're really nice. They adjust much easier than these. These are hard. You'll see they've got this little adapter there, little Allen hole to adjust it, but I really don't like these, so we're going to get these replaced. All right, let's go ahead and take this apart. We're going to take the top part to get to the piston and get that out of there, and then we can replace this seal right here. We will have to get that nut off there, which might be kind of fun, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's do this. What I did so far was I went ahead and took off the air adjusters here, okay? But one thing I wanted to point out is, if you notice, I put some marks on here, okay? Hopefully they'll dry. I didn't have a paint marker, so I just used some Torque. Son of a biscuit. Got markers right there. Anyway. It's so we want to keep the piston in this same orientation, because if you notice, if you see the 4 bolts on this side, right, and then you have the holes on this side, well, if you mix any of these up, which it can fit, you could spin this part the other way and it'll still fit. It'll go in that same position, but you don't want it to do that. So you have to mark everything so you're not changing the orientation around, okay? So I'm actually going to put one right there as well, so we don't mess that up. But anyway, you don't want to mess this up. It'll make it easier for you when you're trying to put it back together. Because if not, you get it all together, you put it back up, and it doesn't work. Won't fit correctly. Okay, I've got the bolts out of here. These are some interesting ones. You see, these are the ones that go in here. You don't want to get these mixed up, because you're down here. I'll show you why here in a second. But these haven't. This one's a straight Allen, right? If you look inside it, you can see it's got threads. This one has the same thing, but it's made for these screws that are down here. So it's a little different. I'll show you here. But check this out. I had to remove that nut, but look. Boom. All right. So there you go. Now we have the new, they call it a glad hand seal. We're going to replace that here shortly. So what we have here is we have the seal kit. So you see this O-ring right here? See that O-ring, Sugar? See the little O-ring? Mm-hmm. All right. So if we flip this over, it's that O-ring right there. See it? So, yeah, you have some. So whenever you're doing these, you want to clean these up real good, and then we're going to put fresh grease on them. We get rid of that old shitty grease, and then we'll replace this seal as well. These other guys right here, these rings right here, okay, so these are the seals for the shaft. I'll show you what I'm talking about here shortly. All right, so those are the seals for the shaft. And if you notice, the one right here, see that one right there? It's flared. See, it's flared outward. So this one is also flared outward. So you have to make sure you're putting correctly flare. If not, it won't seal correctly. All right, let's get this apart. It's cold today. It's cold today. Unfortunately, this is day 2 of this piston. Anyway, got to get this off. So the way this works is, you see this bracket right here? So this bracket comes off of the base right here. And what's cool is it's got the inserts. You might be able to see in there. Alright, so I got to get this off. Can't get a little wire brush in there, so I'm just going to clean by hand. Alright, let's get this off. clean that gap up. Now we're going to, and I put the new O-ring on with some grease on it. So remember earlier, see how I marked it? So now we know we put it right there. Now I want to show you the, the bolts for it. So it's this guy. So these go in here. And they have it threaded in right there, right? So you got to be careful not to strip these, because the casing it's in, oh man, come on. It's aluminum. I was going to say aluminium. Let's see. That's fine. Okay. Now, if you're doing this, you got to be careful, because look, see how these are 2 different sizes? All right. These longer ones are for the deeper bell. See that? See, it's much deeper. So make sure you're getting the right ones, put them in the right spot, because at one point you'll realize, oh, these aren't the right ones, and you don't want to do work twice, right? Get in there. All right. Now, I've never seen a torque setting for these, so I just go with the flow here. Right? That's easy, huh? Nice. It is cold today here in Austin, Texas. It is, what, 29 degrees?
Sounds right.
Freezing rain. I woke up in the hotel and looked out and I said, hell no. But, you know, gotta go to work. So, some crazy stuff happened in Ukraine today. I stayed up for the news conference from the UN. UN Security Council. Well, basically, they were in the meeting trying to talk for peace, and they were bombing Ukraine. So, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so let's figure this one out. It's going to go like that. Okay. And we know this because, see the holes on the side right there? See the holes on the side right?
Right.
That's for that bracket, that side bracket. So we know that this part right here is the front that goes towards us. All right, let's get it back on.
In one way or another.
Ah, you can make them work, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's aluminum. I'll ping them into place. Or peen them, I mean. Or not peen them, but,
Let me see one of
I
those.
just gotta bang it up a bit.
Look at this. Some kind of pipe holder made out of aluminum that SugarBlood here found, but
It's like this.
I don't know what these are for. Maybe somebody can tell us what these are for. Yeah. This one works for a 2-inch pipe.
Could be conduit.
I mean, I guess it could be conduit, yeah, but
I mean, we have excess electrical supplies everywhere.
I guess so. All right. So I got the bottom piece in. You see there's the collar there or whatever. So now we get the shaft in. All right. So I've lubed it up pretty good. Okay. So the way I do these is I kind of go back and forth until, man, I hate this. Yeah. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it down. Okay, fine with this. We had to use some O-ring picks to get it in. But once you get it in there, so right now it's seated all the way down in the piston body. But you see it come out like that. All right. Yeah. All right. Nice and smooth. All right. So now the top part goes on. Now you see my green mark there. There's my semi-green mark there. I'm gonna grease it just a little bit. So it'll slide on there. Oh, I hear a truck.
That's interesting.
What's these?
I think this is open top.
Yeah?
Looks like it. That's where they're dropping it. It always gets dropped right there.
Nice. Terry. Okay, anyway, we'll see it in here in a minute. Sorry. There's the green line.
It is not 9/16. I lied.
Right. Okay. Now we use the long ones. Whoopsie.
It's an M10 bolt. Nope, maybe not.
Whoopsies. Don't lose it.
Right. That's kind of the one I want to use.
Oh, I hear an open top. Get on there.
What's the difference between...
There's multiple sizes for the M10, the thread links. Okay.
So, I've had this issue before. It feels like it doesn't fit any of these. That's not right?
Gonna go ahead and close this one out. Spent my days here at the park up in Austin. I wanted to show you this before we end. So this mat racer here is a whitewater mat racer. We are gonna put a new gel coat covering on it. So we have a team coming out. These guys are from Florida. Good team. I've had them at the Katy site before too. But right now they're chipping off and sanding down that old product. You can see the gray under it. That's the primer coat. And they'll be able to come in shoot a new coat of gel coat on it. I don't know the colors. We're definitely not going with orange and yellow again, but we're gonna make it look pretty. So hopefully soon I can give you an update on that. They're not supposed to be shooting for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So hopefully I can come back up here for the shoot, show some of that work. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this one, boys and girls. See you on the next one. Take care. Stay warm.